Welcome to our weekly vlog series. If you're watching this through Facebook Live, welcome. If you're watching this through YouTube after the fact, please like and subscribe. And if you're watching it through the Ariel Baptist Church app, please enjoy. Now, if you have not downloaded the Ariel Baptist Church app, all you have to do is go into the Google Play Store or your App Store on your iPhone and type in Ariel Baptist. It'll be a little blue A-looking icon that looks something like this that you can click and you download, and you'll get access to all of our vlogs. You also will be able to donate to the ministry, the Go Youth Ministry, and Ariel Baptist Church, and any other ministries there. So please feel free to download that. It is very important, and it is one of the key tools that we will be using in the future to grow our church. What I want to talk to you about today, if you couldn't tell from the title, is the Untamed Tongue. The Untamed Tongue. It is one of the most, or it is the most influential part of our bodies. Great leaders have always used their tongue to direct their groups. Adolf Hitler was one of the most evil men in history, yet he commanded great respect because of his oratory, because of his use of his tongue, because of his speaking ability. He was able to influence an entire generation of Germans to follow him. Not only him, but there have been others throughout history who have used their great oratory skills to influence. Franklin Roosevelt, for example, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." Abraham Lincoln's speech 77 years ago. We remember these oratories. We memorize them in school because they have an effect. And our tongue has a profound effect on the direction in which we'll go in our lives and the direction in which we lead people in our lives. James chapter 3 says, "Let not many of you become teachers, my brethren, knowing that as such we will incur a stricter judgment." So James starts off this discourse on the tongue talking about, don't let many of you become teachers. Now that sounds strange, but the teacher incurs a stricter judgment. When you're seeking to be a teacher of the gospel, when you're seeking to be someone who imparts knowledge, you automatically take on a lot more criticism. You automatically take on a lot more judgment. And you have a responsibility to see that what you teach is not only sound, but also gives a good direction. Today we're caught up in flowery speeches and pastors who will preach what sounds good, what makes people feel good, and they'll ignore the doctrine of the gospel. They'll leave the gospel alone. Because the gospel by its very nature is offensive. It is designed to offend your senses to the point where you will submit to God. But not many people need to desire this, because you do incur a very strict judgment upon yourself. For we all stumble in many ways. If anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a perfect man, able to bridle his whole body as well. If you are perfect, you're able to bridle yourself and able to control yourself, but you are not perfect. Only one perfect man ever existed, and that is Christ. Therefore, we have to bridle ourselves and control ourselves. Now, he goes on to verse 3, and this is an interesting analogy here. "Now, if we put the bits into the horse's mouth so that they will obey us, we direct their entire body as well. Look at the ships also, though they are so great and are driven by strong winds, are still directed by the very small rudder, wherever the inclination of the pilot desires." I think about a friend of mine I had in college. She was fairly short she was just short, but she commanded these powerful horses by simply pulling on a rope, and these animals are 5 times her size. But just by pulling on the rope, pulling on that bridle, that horse went wherever she wanted and did whatever she wanted. The same with these large ships. They're directed by a very small rudder that pivots one way or the other and directs the direction of the ship as the pilot desires. The very same way people are led by their tongue. Good leaders can speak out and groups follow them. Why do you think presidential debates are such a big deal? Why do you think presidential speeches are such a big deal? It's because through the oratory, people are directed and people follow. But the oratory has some other parts too. So also, the tongue is a small part of the body, and yet it boasts of great things. See how great a forest is set aflame by such a small fire. This is where the tongue can become dangerous. Just in the way that the tongue was dangerous for Adolf Hitler in his direction of the German people in the 30s and 40s, so also how we use our tongue is a direction. What you say has an impact. What you say has a direction. Now the context here is talking about in the life of a teacher. The teacher having a hold on somebody. The teacher having a direction. But if I may, I would like to make application to our own lives. This week of the year, every year, I'm preparing for the summer mission camp for the youth at Go Youth Ministries here at Arrow Baptist Church. We leave Saturday morning extremely early, and we'll be on the road the entire day. I've spent time on buses with teenagers. I know how it can get. The teenagers get tired, people get woozy, people get sick of sitting next to someone. And it's usually one of the younger ones that everybody gets annoyed about because they're getting antsy. And then something will be said. And it will be a passing comment maybe. And then that's all it takes. And then it starts. And then somebody else says something else. And then somebody says something else. A harsher word and then a harsher word, and by the end of the road trip, nobody's talking to each other. Everybody's sitting there staring at their phones. That's not the way these trips are supposed to go, but it is something the enemy uses to damage what God is trying to do through this mission camp. So, see, it says, see how great a forest is set aflame by such a small fire. That one comment can set the whole forest aflame. That one comment starts the whole thing, and it snowballs. Verse 6 goes on to say, and the tongue is a fire, the very world of iniquity. The tongue is set among our members as that which defiles the entire body, and sets on fire the course of our life, and is set on fire by hell. Your tongue can direct your entire week. Your tongue can direct your entire day, your entire life. Proverbs 15, verse 1, let me turn over here real quick, talks about one way that we can avoid this. Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 1. And it says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise makes knowledge acceptable, but the mouth of fools spouts folly. That's verses 1 and 2. That gentle answer, when that person's getting on your nerves, when that person has upset you, when something is going on, that gentle answer will turn away harsh words. It will turn away anger. You've got to think like that every time you're going to respond to somebody. The gentle word. How can I reply to this gently? How can I turn this anger? How can I turn this harshness? The tongue of the wise makes knowledge acceptable. If you're going to be wise, you're going to control your tongue. You're going to control your speech. You're going to think before you speak. The mouth of the fool spouts folly. Go slow in what you're saying. If you know it's not true or you're not sure, don't speak. The old phrase, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. That is very true, and that is very accurate. So, if you're going to speak kind words. Help each other along. You can build somebody up. So now that you know it, go teach and make disciples. Thank you for watching.